Off the Cuff is supported by Patreon. Join today and become an honorary producer with in-show credit, plus get other off-the-cuff gifts and merchandise. I have to figure out what to make on today's show. Whatever it is, I want it to be really fun, exciting, and I want people to love it. Oh, I know. I'll make low-carb bagels. Oh, wait a minute. Over the past 6 years, I've tried several times to make bagels with, let's just say, varied results. I remember the first time I tried. I had this really big, brand new glass air fryer. That didn't go well at all. This is the Big Daddy, the new wave 16-quart Big Boss air fryer. It uses halogen as well as convection and infrared. This is going to be perfect for my bagels. Ah! Then there was a time I made those fathead bagels. Yeah, just too much cheese. But it was kind of fun. Wow, that feels like it was over 100 years ago. Then the last time I tried to make bagels, some guy on Skype who's obsessed with the Wizard of Oz made me jump through all these hoops just to get a recipe. Jerry gave me your Skype number about the bagel recipe?
The bagel? No one can see the bagel, not even me!
This guy's really into the Wizard of Oz. Gee, sir, I've come all the way from Kansas. Can I please see the bagel recipe?
I don't know. Sing.
How's that now?
Sing a song. A bagel song.
I don't know a bagel song.
Oh, well, no sing, no bagel.
Oh, okay, and, we're off to see the bagel, the wonderful bagel low carb. Here it is, a bagel that is with all the ingredients.
You did it. You actually did it. You made up a song.
Well, you asked me to make up a song.
You Jay, we're just pulling your chain. I can't wait to show everybody.
All that doesn't matter. This time will be different. Let's start the show. Hi everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Off the Cuff. New episode, Old Foe. As you just saw, over the past 6 years, in all the different incarnations of my show, I have kind of been obsessed with bagels. Specifically, low-carb bagels. And you know what? I'm at it again. Today, I'm going to show and demonstrate a recipe for a wonderful low-carb bagel. This time, I'm using yeast. By the way, the flour I'm going to use to make these bagels, I used in my first episode of this season. When I made the fish and chips? Yeah, that's from Victoria's Kitchen on YouTube, her perfected keto flour. I'm using that today, and if you want the recipe, go over and look at my first episode or go to Victoria's Kitchen on YouTube. I cannot wait to tackle these bagels, and to make it even harder, I'm about to tell you something that I have never shared on this show. About 2 or 3 years ago, I'm not really sure, I tried to make homemade cream cheese. It was a complete and utter disaster, and it was a mess. It was so bad, I didn't even show any of it on the show. I think I just pivoted, and I think I made homemade butter. But today, I feel emboldened. Yep. Today, I'm going to show you how to make homemade cream cheese. It's easy, and it's going to be delicious. So we can put our custom schmear on these low-carb bagels. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here are the ingredients. Alrighty then, it's bagel time. Let's start off with those low-carb bagels. First off, we have to proof the yeast. So that's 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. 3/4 of a cup of warm water, that's going to be at 110 degrees. 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and 1 teaspoon sugar to feed the yeast. Now for the dough, 4 cups keto flour, 1/2 cup butter melted, 2 eggs, we're using 1 egg white later, 1/2 teaspoon salt, and 1/4 cup of your favorite bagel topping. Now for the bagel bath, we're going to bathe these bagels to make them chewy. 8 cups of water, 1 teaspoon salt, and 1 teaspoon baking soda. And finally, for the cream cheese, 1.5 liters of whole milk, 1 cup buttermilk, 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons heavy cream, 1/4 cup of white vinegar. You can go more or less depending on how tangy you want your cream cheese to be. And finally, 2 teaspoons of salt, or of course, to taste. Now we have to proof our yeast. Now I have 3/4 of a cup of water and 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and we mix thus. We mix thus. That's right, we do. Okay. Now we have to bring this to 110 degrees because we need that to proof the yeast. Now it's time for the microwave, an appliance I truly hate. And it goes 15-second intervals. So time cook 15. Well, I don't really hate the microwave. I don't like to use it for cooking, but for stuff like this and defrosting, spot on. 109.8, 109.9. Okay, that's it. That's 110. Now, we take a teaspoon of sugar and we put it in. And we stir. Why do we put the sugar in? Well, like I said, we're avoiding carbs, but the yeast are going to feast on the sugar, so trust me. Now here's a 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and we pour it in. Okay, now we let this set for 10 minutes while the yeast does its job. The melted butter, let's just put that in here. Then we take our yeast, we put that in there, our salt, 1 egg, try not to get as much shells in there as I did, and our keto flour. Put this down and mix. By the way, it's no secret, I have the loudest mixer on the face of the planet. As it's mixing, I'm taking the dough from the sides and making sure it's getting mixed into all this here. Beautiful. All right, this is just about done. What the hell was that? This is just about done. I put it into orbit for a second. Now the dough, I have been advised, is going to be very sticky. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use about 1/3 of a cup for each bagel. So let's spray my hands with some oil so it doesn't stick, and drop it if I can. Let's see if that's about how much I want to use. And I'm going to turn it into a nice little ball. I should get 8 bagels out of this. All right, it's my second one. And this is very sticky dough, but the oil is working. All right, there it goes. Let's get a little bit more oil. I seem to be pretty good at guesstimating what 1/3 of a cup looks like, because I haven't really been far off. Well, leave room, because these are going to rise. There we go. There is our starting 9. Da-da-da-da-da-da, charge! See up there? There's the 9. Now, we're going to let this rise in the oven. Like I said, cold oven. We're not turning this on yet. In they go. In they go for an hour. Then we'll come back and we'll form them into bagels. Ooh, our bagels have gotten bigger. Yeah, look, they rose real nice. Now it's not a hard thing to take them and just put a little hole right in the middle. Right in the middle, a little hole, because these still get sticky. Okay, a little hole in the middle. Flatten them out a little bit, not a lot. I have big fingers, so my bagel holes tend to be bigger than most. Okay, now we're time for our bath. Okay, this is our water with baking soda and salt, and in goes the bagel. We can do 2 or 3 at a time for a minute each. Actually, we can do 4 at a time. For 1 minute. All right, now we turn them. For another minute. Okay, these are done. When this is done, we're gonna brush our bagels with egg whites and put toppings on them. As you're gonna find out in Food Facts, I love everything bagels. So these are all gonna be everything. So you take your egg white and brush the top of each one. Just be careful not to spill all at once. That's it. And that's an everything bagel. Now into the oven, 425 for 13 to 15 minutes. In go the bagels for 10 to 15 minutes. We'll check it at 10. Oh boy, bagels. Hey, guess what? It's time for Food Facts. The first ever mention of a baked and boiled ring-shaped bread was in a 13th century Syrian's cookbook where it was called kak. Seems Klingon. It does. It's actually Arabic for biscuit. And it's not a bagel, so let's just call it a bagel ancestor. Speaking of ancestors, it seems that the bagel actually has some German origins. That's right. It has a German cousin. It does. Seriously. Yep. Those big, soft, salty pretzels. Yeah, right. But they're cousins. In the 14th century, German immigrants coming to Poland brought their soft pretzels. And over time, they got round with a hole in the middle, and they called them a Blaznak. Yeah, that was the name. Wow. Can you imagine being a 14th century kid in the spelling bee? Whew.
I'm ready. Your word is Ovazonik.
Gesundheit.
No, I did not sneeze.
Oh, can I have that word in the form of a sentence, please?
Yes. At the spelling bee, your word is ovaznik.
I quit.
Obłaznak exploded in popularity in Poland when Queen Jadwiga gave up all breads and pastries for Lent, and instead she had obłaznak. Yeah, that became really popular and eventually became a bagel. But you know what? This is food facts. There's an alternate theory. All right, now here's the alternate theory. A 17th century Austrian baker accidentally invented the bagel. He was celebrating King Sobieski III's love of horses. So he baked a bread in the shape of a stirrup. It looked like a bagel. And by the way, the Austrian name for a stirrup is bagel. That's the alternate theory. Also, it's totally false. Yes, it's been disproven, yet it's propagated and told over and over again. It's one of those wives' tales. I don't know. Maybe they do it tongue-in-cheek or tongue-in-bagel. Back in the day, bagels were only made with wheat flour instead of the more affordable rye flour. So that means bagels were associated more with the wealthy and well-off, and they were prominent in religious and also personal celebrations, including brisses. How did that go? Mazel tov! Rabbi, hand me a bagel, unsliced. Unsliced. Eventually, the price of flour came down and bagels became more affordable to everybody. They were commonly sold on the streets of Eastern Europe by street vendors. The actual name bagel comes from the Yiddish word derived from German, bagel. The German word is, I guess you pronounce it bagel. I guess it's the same. Either way, it means a ring or a bracelet. In the 19th century, bagels made their way to England, specifically the Brick Lane district and the surrounding areas of London. They were usually displayed in bakery windows on dowels, and some of them were up to 3 feet high. Bagels made their way to the United States through New York thanks to Polish Jews. The bagels were an instant hit once they hit the streets. The industry was so big that a union was formed. Yep, the Bagel Bakers Local 338 still exists today. And they controlled almost all the bagel making. And guess what? They were all made by hand. In or around the year 1900, the bagel brunch became popular. No, that's the Brady Bunch. I'm sure they love bagels. Right, a bagel brunch. And typically, a brunch bagel has lox, cream cheese, capers, tomatoes, and red onions, and it's still very popular today. In 1958, Daniel Thompson created the first ever bagel making machine. And it wasn't too long after that that Harry Lender and his son leased it. And pretty soon, Lender's frozen bagels started showing up in supermarkets all over the United States. By the way, his son Murray invented pre-sliced bagels. Nice. And now it's time for bagel trivia. Did you know that Montreal, Canada is also famous for bagels? They are. There's a little difference. They're actually honey poached in water and they're baked in wood fire ovens. The world's largest bagel weighed 868 pounds. It was created and displayed for the 2004 New York State Fair. It used 1,100 pounds of dough and 900 gallons of water to be created. Wow, can you imagine the smear of cream cheese you got to put on that thing? At the age of just 15, Dave Goosen, working at a Queens bagel shop, claims that he invented the world's first everything bagel. Now that claim has since been disputed, but not disproven. Oh, everything is my favorite, so hey Dave, thanks. In 2008, Canadian astronaut Greg Chamatoff brought 18 bagels with him when he visited the International Space Station. They came from his aunt's bagel shop in Montreal. Bagels come in almost limitless flavors. My favorite is everything. But there's garlic, there's sesame seed, there's poppy seed, there's salt, there's blueberry, there's cinnamon raisin, and on and on. But do you want to know, did you ever wonder what the most popular flavor was? Plain. Plain bagels are the most popular. And that's food facts. Oh, we have bagels. They look fantastic. I want to let them cool and set. Now let's make the cream cheese. Okay, it's time to make the cream cheese. Now this recipe calls for 1.5 liters of whole milk. That's about 61 ounces. So here we go. And we're going to bring this to a boil. Hopefully with my induction heater, that will happen sooner than later. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. When this is all said and done, I will let you know. But now that I do know that the milk is going to start to curdle according to the instructions I got. It may be doing that now. I'm not 100% sure. I am going to keep on stirring. Let's put in the next 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Just keep stirring. But now that I do know that the milk is going to start to curdle according to the instructions I got. What's going to start to happen is the milk solids are going to separate from curdled milk. That's what we're looking for. Those milk solids are going to become our cream cheese. They say this process takes 5 minutes. I am not convinced. I've only put in half of the buttermilk. I am seeing it start to curdle, which is good. We're almost ready to put in our 4th and final 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Okay, here comes the last 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Now we stir this and we wait for it to break. Basically, we wait for the milk to separate from the solids, and then we strain, and what's left over will be our curds or our cream cheese. Yeah, but it's coming along just fine. I can see it now in the milk itself. It's starting to separate. It's starting to. Yay! This is awesome. It's starting to happen. It's starting to break up. That's happening. All that's what you want. Yay! Okay. We are done and ready to separate this. Okay, now we're going to pour our mixture through this strainer here. Push this down. Oh yeah, we're going to pour some more through there. All right, here's our cottage cheese. There goes our cream cheese that we just extracted. There's 2 tablespoons of cream, 2 tablespoons of butter, and some salt. Let's see what we have here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. That should be it. We have made cream cheese. I did it! I made low carb bagels, which I boiled too, and homemade cream cheese. I got the albatross off my back. I finally made it. I gotta tell you, this makes a lot of bagels. It's really not that hard. I mean, if you have the mixer, I mean, in the steps I showed you here, I mean, it's real quick. You can make like 8-9 bagels for a week, and it's really not a lot of time. The cream cheese, that's a different story. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of patience. But if you like to make stuff at home and make it natural, that's for you. Absolutely. It is an awful lot easier to go to the store and buy a package of cream cheese, but just for the fact that I did it, yes, I'm totally into it. Can't wait to taste this. I have not tasted anything on this plate before. This is the first time I'm making everything. Here goes the bagel. This is plain, and I have one with the schmear. Let's try the plain. It's chewy. It's soft. Wow, it's really. You can taste the yeast. It's chewy, soft. It tastes like a real bagel. Oh my God, that's terrific. That's really. Oh boy. Oh. Home run. This is great. Oh, and now I get to try it with the schmear. Just like in a New York deli, the cream cheese is smooth, it's rich, it's creamy, not too salty, very good. And of course the bagel has the right texture, has the right taste. This is great. I don't think I'm ever going to find a recipe nearly as good as this one. Try it. See if you agree. I bet you do. And that's it for this time around. We're here again in about another 2 weeks with another episode. Until then, remember, be well, eat good. On the next episode of Off the Cuff, guess what I'm making? Pop-Tarts. How cool is that? Well, my neighbor Karen doesn't think it's cool. Look, I'm just trying to make Pop-Tarts.
Oh, good Lord! You're promoting smut!
In Food Facts, it's 1965 and the countdown has begun.
4, 3, 2, 1, Pop-Tarts.
Relive your childhood, only this time sugar-free. The dough is sweet. The inside's the raspberry. Look at that. Join me for an all-new season of Off the Cuff Healthy Cooking with Craig Mitchell. Alternate Sundays right here on Strong Island Entertainment.